Shreveport Police Chief Ben Raymond. Hey, Chief Ben, welcome back to Kiel. How you doing today?
Thank you. I'm doing well, thank you.
Chief, I could hear in your voice, I could see in your face, despair about the death of the little infant Queen Dean over the weekend, and your message to the people involved. Can you go over that and how this is just a gut punch for you?
Yeah, and essentially, I was calling all citizens to take action. Police cannot solve every crime. In fact, police can solve very few crimes without the assistance of others. And what I was trying to get a point is that there are people in the community right now that know who committed that murder. They may have been involved to some degree. They may have assisted to some degree, loaning a vehicle, loaning a gun, may have just heard, rumors and conversation. And those people need to come forward. And this is the only way we're going to truly reduce violent crime, and especially these senseless acts of violent crime. Completely innocent person, a 1-month-old child, who was no way involved in any incidents to precipitate this. And the only way we're going to solve this crime and to prevent these types of crimes is for the community to take a stand and let it be known that we're not going to tolerate it, and that people are going to assist the police department with any information that they have.
What can you tell us, Chief, about why shots were even fired at that house?
That's still in the investigative process right now, and so our detectives have some assumptions, if you will, but there's nothing that we are able to put out publicly at this point, since it is still an open investigation. There are things that we know that only the suspect or someone close to the suspect would know, and so we don't want to share that information until we come across, those people that were involved, and that's going to help us kind of corroborate some of those stories and verify what we're being told with what we already do know.
Could be domestic, could be drug-related, a combination then, I guess?
Yeah, it could be a number of things. It could have been, problems in the neighborhood. There were, several people that lived in the house, various ages, from young children to young adult, older juvenile, young adult, and then there were actually, 3 generations of families living in that house.
Chief, you had mentioned more community involvement. Bluntly speaking, Aaron, a lot of listeners, we live in a different part of town. What do you say to people who might want to help you out, but live in a, once again, bluntly speaking, fear of retribution if they do?
Here's the problem with it, because I read social media posts and I watch the news, and what you hear from the community is kind of conflicting statements. One is, hey, we want the police to do a better job. We want to solve more crime. And then immediately following that, maybe from another person, we don't trust the police. We're not going to share information. You can't have both. If you want to reduce crime and if you want us to solve crimes, you've got to come forward with the information. We are very good at anonymity. I worked narcotics for 15 years, and I had a number of confidential informants, and people to this day don't know who those confidential informants are. They were a number on a piece of paper. We even wrote reports referring to he, she's. We weren't even specific to race or sex or age or anything else. So we are very good at providing anonymity. A lot of the times you hear people talk about the police put my name out there, or the police did this. It's simply not true. What happens is people provide information, and then they hear someone talking, and they get nervous and believe that someone else shared that. But we're very good at keeping that information close at hand. You don't even have to tell us your name. Call Crime Stoppers and just give us your information. You don't have to give us a follow-up number, nothing at all. So we literally have a number of ways for you to provide information. We never have to know who's providing it. We just need those little tips to kind of spark our investigation or to further the investigative process. We have a lot of information, but sometimes it just takes that one little tip that someone may believe is insignificant to really boost our case.
Chief, this is City Council District F, I guess, correct?
It is.
We've already talked about the problems there in our last minute. Have you and Councilman Green talked about it again? And I assume you're continuing your efforts to beef up patrols there.
Certainly, we've done a couple of operations specific to that council district. We've got another one planned this week where people are going to see a noticeable increase in the visible presence of law enforcement. We've got mounted patrols been riding in the neighborhoods, which is something that hasn't been done in years, if ever. And we're going to continue those efforts. I talk to Councilman Green several times a week now. He and I have a real good rapport, and we're gonna continue to try to decrease crime. But I think the key to it is getting that citizen contact, that citizen trust, that interaction, so that we can prevent crimes like the one we had occurred, and then solve them quickly when they do occur.
Chief Ben Raymond, thanks for your time today.